There are over 50 different football competitions happening around the world right now, and most people can only name three. Here's the thing. Once you understand how football is actually structured, watching any match becomes 10 times more interesting. So in the next 5 minutes, you're going to understand every major football competition on the planet. Leagues, cups, international tournaments, all of it. Let's go. Football is split into two worlds, club football and international football. In club football, teams like Real Madrid or Manchester United compete. In international football, entire countries compete. Think USA versus Mexico, England versus France. These are completely separate systems, but they run at the same time, same calendar year, same players jumping between both. That's already wild when you think about it. Start with the leagues. Every country has its own domestic league. England has the Premier League, Spain has La Liga, Germany has the Bundesliga, Italy has Serie A. These leagues run from August to May. Teams play each other twice, home and away. Whoever earns the most points at the end wins the title. Simple, right? But here's where it gets interesting. In American sports, if your team finishes last, nothing happens. You get a better draft pick and try again. In football, the bottom three teams get relegated, they drop down to a lower division, gone, like getting demoted at work. And three teams from the division below get promoted to replace them. That one rule changes everything about how football feels. Every match matters, even in December, even for the teams at the bottom with no hope of winning. Now inside the league, the top teams qualify for something much bigger, European club competitions, the Champions League. This is the one everyone talks about. The best clubs from across Europe, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, Arsenal, they all compete in one massive tournament. It runs alongside the domestic league, so the same players are competing in two competitions at once, every week, for 9 months. Winning the Champions League is basically the football equivalent of winning the Super Bowl, except it's harder, and the players get paid like tech billionaires. There's also the Europa League. Think of it as the Champions League's younger sibling, slightly less prestigious, still massive. Teams that finish just outside the top spots in their league compete here, so that's club football in Europe. Leagues, cup competitions inside each country, and then pan-European tournaments on top. But wait, there's also the domestic cup. In England, it's called the FA Cup. Any team in the entire English football pyramid can enter, from tiny amateur clubs to Premier League giants. A small-town team can draw Manchester City in the third round and it becomes a national story. That actually happens more than you'd think. Now let's talk international football. This is where countries send their best players. Your national team is made up of whoever is eligible to play for your country. So Lionel Messi plays for Argentina, Kylian Mbappé plays for France, even though both of them play club football in Europe. The biggest international competition? The FIFA World Cup. Every 4 years, 48 countries qualify, one winner. It's the most watched sporting event on Earth. More than the Olympics. More than the Super Bowl. The 2022 World Cup final drew over 1.5 billion viewers. That's nearly 1 in 5 humans alive, but to get to the World Cup, countries have to qualify. That process takes over 2 years, hundreds of matches. Different regions have different qualifying systems. Europe, South America, Africa, Asia. Each continent gets a certain number of spots. Between World Cups, there are regional tournaments. In Europe, it's the Euros, held every 4 years. In South America, the Copa América. In Africa, AFCON. These are massive tournaments that run in the years between World Cups. So there's basically always a major international tournament happening somewhere. The whole system is enormous, and it never really stops. Here's one final thing that surprises almost everyone. The football calendar is completely packed. Players compete in their domestic league, their domestic cup, a European club competition. And then international breaks happen throughout the year where they leave their clubs to play for their countries. The best players in the world play 60 or 70 matches a season. That's not a typo. So to put it all together, you have domestic leagues in every country, cups inside each country, European tournaments across the continent, and then international competitions where countries compete, all running at the same time, all featuring the same players. Football isn't one competition, it's an entire ecosystem. and now you understand it better than most people who've been watching for years. If this helped you make sense of the sport, subscribe. More football explained exactly like this. No jargon, no confusion, just the good stuff.